Kahalayim La, Elahayanaw Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalakia, Bahashem, Harawat, Kagorash, Barakathum, the water Baba Bawa, Kwam Yashrawa. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine, I say you shalom. We're about to get into a couple of videos revealing who the true savage of the earth is and always has been, Esau Edom. Yet, you got Donald Trump coming on TV talking about he's about to rid the country of criminals. No, you're not. Matter of fact, this is a safe haven for criminals because either here or in Israel, because either two countries, criminals, the very wicked themselves, are protected. So that was one of many lies he tells daily. So let's go ahead and grab the videos and we finna show you how savage these people really are. Because, I mean, this is a classic case of projection when you really think about it. Because Esau has spent the last, 2,000 plus years calling the tribe of Gad savages. When in all actuality, they were the true savages. So this is projection. Esau loves to do this. He tells on himself all the time. He accuses you of what he's actually doing. Just like he calls people terrorists. Who's doing the actual terrorizing? Exactly. So let's get a copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use of purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's get it. Okay, now this is a short video, but this one right here really, I was like, man. But the name of this video is This Is What Pure Evil Looks Like.
You might be thinking to yourself, there's absolutely no way this video could be that disturbing. Well, it is. The clip that you guys just watched has the vibe of being a family home video recorded on a camcorder. We can see this man opening Christmas presents, he pulls out a collection of baseball cards, but the entire time, the energy feels a little bit off. That's because the man opening these gifts was Vaughn Lester Taylor, and his accomplice was the one recording, Edward Deli, and they were about to do something extremely horrific. In December of 1990, 3 days before Christmas, Vaughn and his accomplice Edward decided that they were going to burglarize a cabin owned by the Tita family. While the family was out, Vaughn and Edward broke in.
I just want to point out one thing. Look at the schnauz. That should tell you everything you need to know. I'm going to leave it there. Let's go.
Opened up these Christmas gifts, recorded themselves on the family's camcorder, and they lay in wait for the family to come back. When the family returned, they started their attack, first by taking the life of 49-year-old Kay Tita, as well as her mother, 72-year-old Beth Potts. They then popped off a shot at Kay's husband, Rolf, which did meet its mark, and they doused Rolf in gasoline as well. However, he was able to survive. From here, Vaughn and Edward also kidnapped the Tita's two daughters, which was Lene and Trisha.
Now, you already know what time it is with these two. You already know what they had on their mind. See? Same old savage.
Before fleeing with Trisha and Renee, the cabin was also set on fire, and after a high-speed chase, fortunately Vaughn and Edward were captured, and Trisha and Lene were fine. Currently, Vaughn Taylor is incarcerated on death row in Utah, and Edward is serving a life sentence. This is definitely one of the more shocking cases that I've covered in quite a while, and just how senseless this was is quite astounding. As always, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Drop a comment letting me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
See? Animals. Savages. I got another video. Check this out. White supremacist family burns black church, shoot up ice rink.
White supremacist family burns a black church and shot up an ice rink. Unbelievable. Put it up full mass.
Oh, it's believable.
This week, a domestic dispute at a Rhode Island youth hockey game escalated into a fatal shooting, leaving 3 dead and 3 individuals injured. The shooter reportedly targeted their ex-wife and children. Investigations revealed the gunman was a white supremacist whose son had attempted to burn down a black church 2 years ago. Dorgan shot and killed their ex-wife, Rhonda Dorgan, oldest son, Aiden Dorgan, and critically wounded in-laws and a family friend before bystanders grabbed their gun. Dorgan drew a second gun and turned it on himself. The media is focusing on the shooter being trans, but the media is downplaying that they were, more importantly, neo-Nazi. Neo-Nazi. Okay? This is the shooter, known as Roberta Dorgan, or...
Look at that abomination. Is it not written that if a man put on that which pertaineth to a woman, he is an abomination, quote unquote, roughly paraphrasing the script? Yeah. Tatted up, nails painted. Yeah. Your piece of work, E.
Roberta Epicito. In this photo, you can see their SS neo-Nazi tattoo, a symbol used in the Third Reich propaganda. Their social media further indicates their belief in white supremacy. Dorgan posted pro-Nazi content on an account on X, including repeating posts in which Dorgan wrote that being, quote, to the right of Hitler, end quote, was a compliment. In a reply to a post showing an image of someone giving a Nazi salute, Dorgan wrote WP, a reference obviously to white power. Dorgan also rejected the idea that all transgender people are liberals expressing hatred for Democrats and support for President Trump. 4 days after Trump won the 2024 election, Dorgan wrote on X, quote, trans my whole life, post-operation, back Trump 100%, love America. They don't stand for me. They don't speak for me. Blank these commie blanks. Dorgan's son, Kevin, is also a white supremacist who was arrested after attempting to burn down a black church in 2024. Kevin, 37 years of age, ignited the blazes around Shiloh Gospel Temple's exterior in North Providence. This was during the early morning of the 11th of February, 2024. Because of the race, color, religion, national origin, and or ethnicity of the congregants there, according to a plea agreement filed on the 20th of December. Investigators said most of the worshipers at the Pentecostal church, which had existed for about 35 years, are Black and African American. The church was empty at the time and no one was injured, thank God. Court documents said the fire caused significant damage to the church, which had a 100-person congregation mostly made up of Black members at the time of the fire. Police seized notebooks inside of Kevin's home that were filled with hateful writings, including one entry where he wrote, quote, gun everyone down that isn't white. If one is white, spread the gospel. Always give our bloodline a chance, end quote. Kevin is serving his sentence in a federal prison in Fort Worth, Texas, and is scheduled to for release in December 2029, according to federal authorities. People with close ties to the family who requested anonymity told Target 12 that Dorgan influenced Kevin's fixation on race. A couple of factors here. Number one, the media wanted you to pay attention to the fact that one of the individuals happens to be trans. but wanted to downplay the fact that it wasn't their trans identity, it was their neo-Nazi identity that led to the violence.
No, it was their spiritual identity which led to the violence. And one thing always confused me about these Edomites over here in America. Now, it's a confusing scenario as is, but I'll explain it as best I can. Americans so-called fought the Germans in the World War, yet they praise Adolf Hitler, who was responsible for the deaths of 6 million plus tiny tots. So you got Americans over here that pretty much praise the tiny tops and praise their so-called murderer at the same time. Now, due to the fact that we fought, well, I ain't gonna say we, but America fought the Germans in the World War, now you got Americans referring to themselves as neo-Nazis. You see the destroyed mind of Esau Edom, the destroyed spirit of Esau Edom. Nothing but confusion. Let's go.
This ideology, the ideology of racism, bigotry, bias, and hate. And the insanity of the ideology that suggests or says you can kill people while sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ is ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The gospel and killing.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's E. And he don't even know what the gospel is. The gospel is good news for us. Bad news for you, E, especially you. The other nations gonna get it too, but not like you. Because all the other nations are going into captivity for 1,000 years pretty soon. The only difference is between the nation of Edom and the other nations, after the 1,000 years of captivity and chattel slavery, the Edomites gonna be rounded up, and the Lord is going to destroy them, and there will be none remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Roughly paraphrasing the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 18. Let's roll.
gospel and killing. Many men and women have utilized that book in order to justify the most heinous crimes against humanity.
Most of them Edomites. Watch that movie, The Book of Eli, if you haven't seen it. It's about an Edomite trying to find the last Bible on earth to weaponize it against the people. But you had a so-called blind prophet called Denzel Washington, who knew the book backwards and forwards, and his mission in this movie was to deliver the book to a printer to be printed up. But see, this is the thing, when that Edomite, that wicked Edomite finally got the book, he couldn't read it because the book was in Braille. And he was pissed off. Yeah, he said that book is not just a book, it's a weapon. And he's right. That's why all these Edomites are pretty much crashing out, lashing out, because the truth of that book has gone mainstream, and it's messing up their whole delusion, their whole dream of a wicked kingdom.
The true story of Yeshua, Jesus the Christ, is that of a...
Neither one of those names are the Lord's real name. The Father's name is Yahweh. Son's name is Yahweh Shai. I don't know where these people get these names from. Number one, the letter J was the last alphabet added to the alphabet, I think in the 15 or 1600s. And his name cannot be Yeshua or Yahusha, because there are no U's in the Hebrew alphabet. Let's ride.
Radical, nonconformist man of color. That's the true story. The true story of Jesus, Yeshua the Christ, is a story of a man who spoke against religious authority, who spoke against government corruption. All right. Sad story. Jasmine, thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean that.
All right, we can come out of this now. They just gonna add their little commentary. Yeah, man. The originals. The original Rude Boy. Evil E. Let's get some scriptures. We start with Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, because the faces of the judges thereof not where, and who is he? That's why all this wickedness goes unpunished. Ain't that right, Trump? Mm-hmm. We know. Now let's go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. See, Esau takes peace by just committing the most atrocious crimes to people who has done nothing to him, because it's in his spirit to do wickedness. This is why he was created. Let's go to Psalms chapter 73. Verse 5, they're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Ain't that right, Donald Trump? Mm-hmm. Verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covers them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than the heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression, they speak loftily. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. Ain't that right, Trump? Mm-hmm. And that was verse 12 from book of Psalms, chapter 73. But let's keep rolling. This is not going to be a long video. I just wanted to touch on a few scriptures. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 86, verse 14. O Yahweh, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul and have not set thee before them. Yeah, violent men for no reason whatsoever. Look at what ICE doing to people who has done nothing to them. Yeah, that savage still here. Go to Psalms 140, chapter 140, you start at verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. And this is a prayer for you Israelites. That's what this section is called. It's called Prayer for Protection Against the Wicked. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts, continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent, adder's poison is under their lips, Salah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked, preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me, Salah. A gin is a trap. Verse 6, I said unto the Lord Yahweh, thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O power, the Lord, the strength of my salvation, thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves, Salah. And the Lord's finna, he tearing them, he breaking them down little bit by little bit, gradually. All right, we still in the book of Psalms. Let's go to chapter 11, verse 5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Just like in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, when it was raining fire and brimstone to destroy the wicked, it's about to happen again. But it's not going to be fire and brimstone from the heavens. It's going to be nuclear missiles. Let's get it. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That's when the nukes go up in the orbit and come back down for terminal velocity. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which is Greek for Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, who are the cursed upon the earth. Now, we were under the curses, but we're not the cursed. The cursed are marked by what? Pale skin, which makes you a clean leper, and blonde hair. But as you can see in Upside Down Babylon, those features are considered positive things. I don't understand how if you can't go out in the sun. Keep rolling. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10, let favor be shown to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. He does not want to acknowledge that there is a higher power, because he thinks he's the higher power. There's no way in the world a base man can be a god. It's not going to happen. You forget it. That's why you're so dependent on technology and drugs. So without those things, your sorcery is useless. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. That's not possible, because if they had any good in them, they would have been doing it a long time ago, instead of waxing worse and worse and worse in wickedness. Something would have shined in them, but there's only darkness. That's why they're against everything righteous. These are the enemies of righteousness. Go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not unless they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The original savage. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. The violent man entices his neighbor and leadeth him into a way that is not good. Esau is guilty of all these things. Ungodly man digging up evil. Now, there was a story that came out in news last week, a couple of weeks ago, by this Edomite who was grave robbing, just digging up people's remains and taking their skulls and their bones and using them for rituals and spells. Edom, grave robbing. An ungodly man diggeth up evil. A froward man stirreth up strife. That's Donald Trump all day. Always bringing forth division, always lying to keep people at odds. Always keeping up shit. Always, I mean, there's nothing about Trump that brings people together. He destroys relationships on purpose. That's froward. Difficult to get along with. Keep rolling. Go to book of Joel, chapter 3. The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Now, that man's intent in that video was to murder Israelites by burning down that church. But it just so happens that the church was empty and nobody got hurt. But that's the fact still remains that a lot of you Christians and you false idol worshipers are going to die in your churches. Because the Lord is not in there. He's in us. We are the temple. And when you go up in these churches, you're pissing the Lord off by worshiping false idols. Get this one. This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. And his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Basra and Teman are towns or cities that was inhabited by Edomites. You are people before you are a place. So this was talking about the nation of Edom. Keep rolling. I think it was something in chapter 3 as well. And this right here sums up Edom right here in a nutshell, especially America and Israel. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 10. For they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, an adversary there shall be even round about the land. He shall bring down thy strength from thee, and thy palaces shall be spoiled. Spoil mean to rob. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. Red letter, Lord Yahweh Shah speaking. The thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. In the first video, what did they do? They broke in the house and started opening their Christmas gifts. That's theft. They kidnapped the daughters. Theft. They murdered the parents and the grandmama. That's kill. And they burnt the house down. Destroy. The thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. That they are the Israelites. Because what did Lord Yahweh Shah say? He said, I am only sent unto the house of Judah. I mean, the house of Israel, Salakia. Yeah. Go to the book of Micah, chapter 2. Verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. Yeah, they took away their house by burning it down for no reason. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, on which ye shall not remove your necks. You ain't getting out of this, E. Neither shall ye go haughtily, for the time's evil. And the Lord is going to bring the evil. Let's see what. Book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence. Epstein files. And the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies. Pam Bondi, Trump, Christy Nome, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller. The list goes on and on. And their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Yeah, that's Edom. Sound about right. Book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, spoiled many robbed. They just robbed Venezuela and kidnapped the president and his wife. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, for the violence of the land and of the city, and all that dwell therein. Woe to him that covetous, an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establishes a city by iniquity. Is that not how the United States was established, through violence and iniquity? Yes. So it's going to be destroyed the same way. Go to the book of 2 Peter. Chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Y'all ain't got away with nothing. If anything, you're earning your punishment. You're earning your judgment. It's just that simple. But see, Esau's simple mind thinks he's getting away with something because he hadn't got punished right then and there. You in for a surprise, homie. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, burning down the church, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Verse 11. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. So the Lord said he's going to make himself known to the Israelites when he judges Edom. Verse 12. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. They think the Lord gave us over to them just for them to just do whatever. Matter of fact, I saw a video and the title was called so-called blacks going into slavery was a blessing to the white people. And if you really think about it, this has been Esau's MO since he came into power. Trying to get control of the people. Why? Because Esau has to have slaves. Number one, to stroke his ego. And number two, because he can't do shit on his own. So that's why he's constantly imagining how to throw thee into a pit, or a prison, or a jail, or alligator Alcatraz, or a concentration camp to keep that control over you, because he can't do shit on his own. would steal, kill, destroy, rape, rob, murder. Nothing positive. They haven't built anything except weapons. Okay, let's start back at 13, verse 13. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Let's get Jeremiah. We're going to get a few more. We're going to close this thing. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Yep. They go above and beyond Call of Duty. Now let's get these last ones. The book of Psalms, chapter 106. This one's been coming out a lot lately. But it's to show you that this has always been Esau, Edom. You got to think about it, because if their works and their behavior ended up in this Bible, that means they were doing this before the Bible was even written. Because if they was doing it after the Bible was created, it wouldn't be in the Bible. So this has always been them. Now, what I'm about to read, originally, these scriptures was talking about wicked 2/3 Israelites. But the scriptures are also going to tell you where they got this wickedness from. Let's get it. And it's starting off with wicked Israelites pissing off the Lord. We start at verse 32. Psalm chapter 106. They angered him also at the waters of strife, so that it went ill with Moses for their sakes, because they provoked his spirit, so that he spake unadvisedly with his lips. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them. See, they supposed to destroy nations like King Saul was supposed to destroy Amalek, but he didn't. So the Lord took the spirit off King Saul, gave it to King David. Let's keep rolling. Verse 35, but they were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. What heathen? Edom. What did they learn from Edom? Listen to this. Verse 36, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them, just like cheese and rice, Buddha, Allah, and all these other false idols Esau pulled out his ass. Verse 37, listen to this behavior. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, Israelites, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance. And he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjugation under their hand. And we're still in that position today, under our enemy's boot, because we didn't realize what we had. But that's all right though. The Lord set it up for us to learn this way, especially the 144,000, because in order for the 144,000 to rule in righteousness, they had to get a up close first perspective / view on how not to rule. In order to rule in righteousness, they had to learn what it looks like to rule in wickedness, so they won't do it. But they're not going to do it anyway, because the Lord is going to put all the laws in their inward parts, and they'll never sin again. So, what is the purpose of death? To punish sin. So if the Israelites would never sin again, they would never die again, thus giving those Israelites immortality. This is one of the many reasons Esau was jealous of us and hate our guts, because the Lord is about to give our people something that he can't buy, something he can't create, and that angers him. So he on this kick, like, if I can't rule, nobody can. Childish, right? But somebody is going to rule, and you're going back to the bottom where you came from. And that bottom is you being the original savage. Kahalayim la, Alahayana Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Amashiach Wamalaki Yabahashim, Harawat Wakakwarash, Rakatham, Bible Bar Wakwam Yasharala. Shalom.